All right, what's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Gameball. Today, we're joined by Clemson legend, former NBA player, and current Bundesliga basketball player, Jaron Blossomgame. How you doing today, man?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, of course. And before we get into basketball, because everyone knows about your great basketball career, I want to talk about photography because I noticed something that you do on the side is photography. So, what
Yeah.
kind of got is that like a hobby of yours, and do you hope to kind of continue that maybe after basketball?
So last year during COVID, I think around April, I was down in Miami and like everything was closed and I was like super bored all the time, man. I would find ways to go practice and I would just sit in my apartment like the whole day, like doing nothing. And I've always been interested in photography, like taking photos on my iPhone.
Mm-hmm.
So I randomly decided to go buy a camera at Best Buy and I started practicing, started watching YouTube tutorials, learned all the settings and all that. And I got pretty good at it, over time. But yeah, it's definitely one of my favorite hobbies.
Definitely. Is it? Do you think it's like harder than what most people think it is?
You definitely have to have an eye for it. Like not everybody can just pick up a camera and like see something and then I think you can't see the image you want in your head and then replicate it with the camera. I guess that's very hard to do. But
Yeah.
some people have a special eye for it.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's pretty neat to do photography. I tried, but it's hard. It's a challenge, man. It definitely is. But
Yeah.
you mentioned you're in Miami right now before you go over to Germany in a couple of weeks. But
Correct.
You're obviously doing some off-season training. And what's that been like? What have you been trying to work on to improve your game?
It's been really good. I'm very close to my trainer down here. Same guy I worked with last summer.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess the emphasis area for me, I guess, is continuing to shoot the ball at a high level. Last season was my career high as far as shooting three ball. So I want to continue that this season and just build consistent habits. I think that's the main goal for me this summer.
Yeah, definitely. I noticed that your trainers train guys like D'Angelo Russell, Chris Silva. So he seems like he's top notch for you. So that's
Yeah,
cool.
he's a really good trainer. His dad's actually the head skill development guy for the Miami Heat. So like he knows his stuff.
Oh, that's awesome to hear. So now kind of backing it up to Clemson, right? And before we dive into that, I know everyone's probably asked you this question a million times, but after your senior year, you suffer that injury. And I'm not trying to look at the negative of it because you're able to recover from it. So what I've noticed is that once you're able to finally recover from that during your senior year, your true freshman year at Clemson, during your redshirt year, your redshirt freshman year, you're able to put things together, and you had that great game against Duke where you got 14 points, 14 rebounds against Duke and Jabari Parker. So what was it like just being able to have that mindset of knowing that you're going to get back to what you once were before?
Honestly, man, I think that whole injury and the whole recovery process helped build me into like who I am today. I had a lot of adversity through that. Not many people know, that injury is supposed to heal within like 6 to 8 months. And, it took me over a year and I needed 2 surgeries to do so. And in high school, man, you feel invincible. Like that was my first like real significant injury and the only one I've had. So it's like when you have that, you really don't know, if you're going to be able to play anymore or even be the same anymore. So, there were times where I doubted myself a lot, man. Like it was definitely hard mentally. But I have a good support group around me and good friends, and they kept me level headed through the whole process. And that game in particular, that was kind of the game for me, the kind of the breakout game to kind of get my confidence back and to know, okay, you're going to be fine, because I remember my first game of the season, I was still timid and still worried, I mean,
Yeah.
It's a crazy concept, but like when you see your bone coming out of your leg, like it's not like you can just recover from that, once it's fixed. So, it takes about a year or so to kind of get comfortable after that. So, yeah, it took me quite a bit of time, but obviously things worked out for the best in my favor. So I'm thankful for that.
Yeah, definitely. I can only imagine the emotional, mental toll that took on you because me as a fan, I've seen it. You've seen it with other players like Kevin Ware. I think kind of stands out from when that happened with Louisville, but to actually experience that must have been absolutely horrific. But it's awesome that you're able to kind of grow as a person through that too. Definitely. But at the end of the season, the freshman year, you were a starter. You played significant minutes coming in as a 4-star, but you guys were able to finish with a 20-12 record with a narrow loss to Duke to kind of finish it off. So do you think it's safe to say that Clemson kind of got maybe snubbed from March Madness that year?
Wow, I remember that Duke game in the tournament. Controversial play at the end.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we were deserving of an NCAA tournament bid. I mean, I think that was the year we went to the Final Four in the NIT.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe we're a tournament team. We beat some good teams during the year, but obviously didn't get selected. So that was unfortunate.
Yeah. Do you think it had to do with kind of like I guess the lack of Clemson basketball kind of being in the spotlight in the national level? Do you think that kind of had a reason to do with it?
It's hard to say. It's hard to say. I mean, we had some good wins that year, but I'm not sure how they calculate all that stuff with all the numbers and all the metrics that go into it. But we were right there. We were, I think, like a 2 seed or 1 seed in the NIT. So like we were like one of the first 4 or first 8 out. So we're right there on the cusp of it.
Yeah, definitely. So now kind of moving on. So sophomore year, you obviously lost a lot of players, and KJ McDaniels was one of those guys that ended up leaving the team. But that year can help build into your great junior year. So I guess the one question I have to do with that season is, well, how were you able to kind of grow into your role of being kind of the guy in Clemson, kind of being one of the main faces of that team?
My sophomore year or junior year?
Sophomore year.
Well, I mean, like you said, KJ left for the NBA draft, and I knew there would be a vacancy and a leading scorer and a leader. And I got with our assistant coach, Coach Steve Smith at the time, and just got in the gym and started working, man. Like I said, I knew that opportunity was there, and I wanted to go seize that opportunity. Obviously, being a sophomore, having 2 guys that are leaders and seniors on the team, I didn't want to step on anybody's toes, but I know who I am as a player and what I'm capable of and what I could do for the team. So I just took that to heart and got in the gym and started working every day, and obviously it paid off for me.
Yeah, for sure. And that junior year, now kind of just looking directly at this one year, this year was your best year. You were named All-ACC first team. You were named All-ACC most improved player. You got 19 points a game, 7 boards, shot 45% from 3, which was that's wild to see. Shot over 50% from the field. So before I dive into specifics of it, what was that just entire year like for you? Just to kind of grow as a player and just seeing how well you're able to do on the national level.
It was definitely exciting for me. I put a lot of work in. I'm a gym rat, so I'm always in the gym. Mm-hmm. My best friend in college was Riley McGillen, and we were roommates. And there are times where we're like at 10 o'clock at night, like, bro, let's go to the gym and shoot 50 shots. And like, just that small amount of shots, like for us, like made a difference mentally. And I think just having that mindset moving forward through the rest of the season and being consistent at those habits really, really helped me. But it was a weird year for our team, I mean, that was the year we had to play in Greenville. So we were outside of campus. We had to bus to Greenville every game day. We were practicing and sharing a gym with the volleyball team. So it was definitely a unique season. A lot of things could have went wrong, but, it didn't. I had a really, really good season, like you said. But, I got to credit my teammates and, my coach also for that. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely bringing up Greenville. I live in Greenville, so I kind of remember that whole thing going on where you guys were playing, at the well. So what was like the atmosphere like for you? Because you weren't gonna have. I mean, obviously people will travel, but you're not gonna have that. It's a lot easier to go to a game as a student when you're in Clemson than it is to drive an hour out. So what was it kind of like? Just that atmosphere for you? Was it the same, or was it a little bit, less passionate?
I will say this. I think so. We had a stretch that year, obviously, where we beat Syracuse, Florida State, Duke, Louisville, and Miami all in a row.
Yeah,
they were all ranked. They were all ranked all within like the top 15 or top 10 or something like that. And those games were probably one of the most exciting games I've had at my career at Clemson. And it's kind of ironic because none of those games were technically on campus.
Yeah.
But no, like the fans came out, supported us. I mean, there was lots of games where students were taking buses up to Greenville to come watch us play. So, it was fun. It was definitely something we had to get adjusted to. But I know there were times where me and my other roommate, Jordan Roper and Josh Smith, guys like that, went to Greenville to get out in the community and get the fans excited for basketball. I think it was a successful year overall, to be honest.
Did you enjoy the bus rides, just kind of going to Greenville, kind of get your mindset for those games?
I did, man. I actually did. We would come up sometimes the day before the game or around like noon on game day, stay in the hotel and then play and then come back after the game. But I like that because like I'm like super focused when it comes to like basketball, and I took it very, very serious in college like I do now. And just being away from all the distractions kind of like helped me a lot.
Yeah, for sure. That's cool to see the little change of it. But you mentioned the games where you won that stretch, specifically Louisville, Duke, Miami, and those were Louisville was ranked 16, Duke was 9. Miami was 8. That was incredible stretch right there. And you were able to play guys like Donovan Mitchell, Brandon Ingram. So, you were going against some tough competition. So what was that stretch like for you? Just like mentally being able to be like, let's go out there, let's keep winning these games.
It was crazy. I mean, this was the year that we had a very, very rough non-conference schedule. I remember there was a game specifically at Georgia that we played right before the Christmas break, and we got slaughtered. I think we lost by like 30 or 40. And me and my roommate and one of our other walk-on teammates went back to campus, and like that was probably the lowest point I've had as a basketball player at Clemson.
Yeah.
And literally, we were probably like 6 and 7 overall going into conference play. I think lost to North Carolina first game, and then obviously, like I said, we beat Syracuse at Syracuse, beat Florida State, and then we knocked off those 3 teams. And things just kind of happened so fast for us. And, you know, when you're going through something like that, like you don't really understand, like, are we a good team or, you know, like what's going on here?
Yeah.
But the guys, they bought into it. You know, Coach Barnell did a good job at, you know, keeping everybody excited. And, you know, we had a lot of guys on our staff who were high spirited and kept the morale of the team up. So, you know, it was definitely like that stretch was definitely the high point for us, and definitely one of the stretches I'll definitely remember the rest of my life.
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, kind of moving on from the team aspect of it, but, you know, player aspect for yourself, you're able to have some crazy games where you got like 33 points against NC State. Obviously, you had those great games and a couple other 30-point games. So it was like that one memory, that one game that stood out above the rest for you. You're thinking, you know, hey, we're kind of good out here. I'm pretty good out here, you know.
The one game that year, wow. Honestly, it's not even a game where I performed like super well. I think the one game for me that was the most satisfying was the game at Boston College. It was the last game of the season, right before the ACC tournament. And I think I was like 5 for 5 from 3. And I think I finished with like 18 points, like not an amazing game at all. But like that was a game that kind of like solidified it mentally for me, and like throughout the media that like I was going to be first team all conference. And I think just having that sense of calmness and, you know, knowing what was coming was very, very appealing and calming for me. And it kind of just put things in perspective and made me appreciate, you know, all the work that I put in to get to that point.
Yeah, definitely. You thought, how was like the team supportive of you when you got the all ACC first team? Were they like pumped up for you too? Were they sharing that same joy as you were?
Yeah, they were super excited. So like I said, we were sharing the gym with volleyball, and our locker room was probably the size of like a bathroom. Like it was not big at all. We were all like bunched in there. And Coach Bernard brought the whole team in there, and he told everyone, I want to congratulate 2 guys who got all ACC accolades. Landry was one of them. I think he got first team all defense.
Yeah. And
then he mentioned me for first team all conference, and then also most improved player of the year, which I had no idea I was even in the running for.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were excited for me. We had definitely our chemistry that year was definitely contagious, and a lot of guys were happy for me. So it was nice.
Yeah, for sure. And unfortunately, that season kind of ended on a rough end. You know, losing Georgia Tech by 3 in the tournament. But I guess the biggest question though that was kind of there was the draft, right? And I bet you get this question all the time. You know, everyone's probably asking you, you know, hey, what was the thought process going on? And I watched your press conference, some of your interviews, and you were saying that it was probably one of the toughest decisions of your life. One morning you woke up and you're like, I'm going to the draft, and that night you're saying I'm staying. So you know, go with the I think it's great that you're able to, you know, kind of go through the combine and visiting the teams before you have to actually declare, kind of test the waters. But what was that whole entire thing like for you? With whether that's a team asking you, hey, are you actually going to enter the draft, or just kind of going to the combine? What was that entire process like for you?
Honestly, man, probably so the ACC tournament starts in like March.
Yeah.
I probably in my head was leaving school in January, like mentally, like I'm going to the draft. I come back to school, like because people forget, like I was a redshirt junior, so technically I was a senior on course to graduate that summer. So
you're an old head right now.
Yeah, I was an old head technically. So I'm like, yeah, no chance to come back to school. Like done. First team all ACC, done. I was like, this is not like I'm not coming back to school, man. And then the one thing that got me, man, like I remember the NBA Combine invites were going out, and I wasn't in the initial, like the first batch to go out, right? So mentally I was like, all right, like what does this mean? And I was texting my agent at the time, like freaking out a little bit. But he told me like not to worry about it. I remember I was on the way to Utah for my first pre-draft workout, and checked my email, and then I saw I got the invite. Went to my Utah workout, played well. Where did I go after that? I think maybe Boston, Utah and Boston. Boston was my second workout. And then I went to the combine from there. I had to play in the 5-on-5 portion. I played amazing. Like everything, like I interviewed well, played well, tested well, like everything was lining up, everything's perfect. And you know, at this point I'm still mentally like, all right, I'm leaving. I'm not going back to school. And I had a workout with a certain team. And for some reason I asked a question. I was like, what if I went back to school? Like, could I put myself in a better position? Because I was technically projected to go somewhere between like 25 and 35, which is like not bad at all. But I asked them, and they were like, yeah, like possibly that could happen for sure. And like once they said that, to me, like the thoughts of returning back to school kind of started creeping in. I had like a week left to like make my decision. And I remember I had my workout in Phoenix. It was my last one of my little 10 workout journey. And I called Vernon Hamilton, who was one of our graduate assistants at the time. And me and him talked for like an hour about it, going back and forth about it, just pros and cons. And, you know, I told him I felt more comfortable going back to school. Finished the workout with Phoenix, played amazing. I was hoping that a team would have given me a promise, like, hey, we'll pick you at the spot. Like, we'll pick, like teams do that.
Yeah.
But like, I never really got that. Well, there were like, I know a team that would have picked me in the second round, like early in the second round that year. But I got back to campus like late, like super late. I flew from Phoenix to Atlanta to Clemson. Got back super late. I had the press conference in the morning. And like I knew my decision already. I had to go and talk to Coach Brownell, and then I informed him of my decision. And then I went to the press conference, and obviously whatever happened there, and everybody was super excited for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, everyone was pumped that you're coming back to Clemson, but you know, obviously hindsight 2020. I don't want to think about the negative side of things, but does it ever pop in your mind? Do you ever think maybe I should have? I mean, obviously you got drafted again, but have you ever thought, you know, maybe I shouldn't have came back to school? Was that ever like a thought that you might think even now?
Course, man. Like I'm human, man. Like, of course.
Yeah.
But I'm also a firm believer in everything happens for a reason. And, you know, I'm on my path right now. You know, I was fortunate enough to play a year in the NBA with Cleveland, get that experience. And, you know, everybody, like I said, everybody's on their different journey. You know, this is my second year playing in Europe. And like a lot of guys take this route to the NBA, like PJ Tucker, who had 1 year in the NBA, 5 years in Europe, and then now he's an NBA champion. And people don't even think about the journey and things that he had to endure and go through. So there's tons of guys in the NBA like that, but you only see people, you know, at their greatest. You don't see them when they're having to go play in Russia or Italy by themselves. You know what I'm saying? No family, no friends. Like, so it definitely puts things in perspective for you and gives you a great appreciation when you get to that level. But no, I don't regret anything. I'm a part of my journey, man. It's part of me. It's part of who I am, and I'm appreciative of that.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I really want to talk about your career in Europe, but I got to ask, you know, a couple more questions about your senior year, right? Because, you know, you said you wanted to return. You said four reasons were included, obviously improving your draft stock, come back to Clemson to make the tournament, and playing in the new arena and just kind of put Clemson on the map. So I think it's safe to say that, you know, you did help put Clemson on the map. Like, you helped establish. So, you know, with that legacy that you have, because I think a lot of people regard you as probably one of the best players to ever go through Clemson and, you know, Clemson's basketball. So, you know, with that being, you know, stated, like, have you ever thought about like just the legacy that you're able to build at Clemson with being able to play all 4 years there?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm very, very well respected at Clemson. You know, I have a good reputation there. I built a lot of good relationships with people there. I'm still friends with the president of the university. I could text him right now and talk like it's nothing, man. So I think
I have to change my grades or something, bro.
Yes, I built a lot of good friendships and relationships there. Which is like very, very important. And obviously on the basketball side, you know, I ended up finishing 5th all time in scoring and a few more records and all that stuff. But I think that stuff is cool. But the most important things to me are the relationships I've built there. The older I get, man, like the more it's about like the younger generations. And one day I want to go back and speak to like the students at Clemson, the athletes there, just to give them my story and my perspective on everything. And you know, I'm not too far removed where I'm like old, but like I've gone through enough in my career and experienced a lot of different basketball and a lot of things that those guys are going to experience in the next coming years. So I feel like I have a lot of value being able to go there and speak to them and share my story. Like just my legacy there and being who I am. You know, that makes me feel good.
Yeah, definitely. With that being said, you know, I'm actually going to talk to some other guys have been interviewing from Clemson with the basketball team with us recruits and whatnot. But are
Mhm.
you like ever kind of involved in like in the recruiting process where they might say, hey, here, let's do a Zoom call with him. He'll tell you about Clemson and the legacy that, that he built and just kind of what the feel is like. So are you ever like involved in that recruiting process?
No, to be honest, not since I left. I don't think I have. I mean, I remember my last year, I had Amir Sims on campus, and
Yeah.
He was a guy also like my position, someone I guess obviously maybe looked up to me, maybe wanted to replicate my career. And he had an amazing career at Clemson, just graduated. But he was a guy who I kind of like talked to early on, like in his recruitment. And once he signed, kind of somebody that could lean on me for information or anything like that, but nothing recent. I'm not sure with the rules if you can even do that. But
yeah, sure,
if you're able to, that's something I would like to do. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that'd be cool for you to do. I think that would help out a lot because like I mentioned, later today I'm going to be talking to Joshua Beadle, who's like a freshman coming in for Clemson.
Oh, okay, yeah, I know him.
Yeah,
I know him. Yeah, mention my name to him. Mention my name.
I will. I'll tell him that you said he was awful. That is awful at basketball.
No, he's a great kid, man. He's a great kid. Good head on the shoulders.
Yeah, definitely. No, he looks to be very talented. So I was just curious to see that you ever kind of involved though, or if a guy ever reached out to you and said, "Can you tell me a little bit about Clemson?" So.
No, man, no.
Right. Well, hey, I'll tell him to talk to you some more, man. I'll make sure.
Yeah, no, I know him. Yeah, so I'll tell him I said what's up.
Oh, definitely, man, definitely. And so moving on to just the draft, 2017, pick 59, the Spurs. You heard your name called. You're able to walk on that stage. Your family, your friend, everyone that was meant something to you was there supporting you. And just how great was that moment? Just be able to cross that stage, put that hat on, and just be in the NBA with this everyone that cares for you just there.
I tell everybody this, and it's honestly crazy, and maybe it'll come off the wrong way to some people, but like the feeling of walking across the stage, putting the hat on, it's probably less than 12 seconds. The whole thing in totality is probably less than 12 seconds.
No
and
way.
It's like, I remember I got to the edge of the stage after I shook the deputy commissioner's hand and put the hat on and all that. I got to the edge of the stage to walk down. And I remember like yesterday, I thought to myself, wow, that was it. Like I worked my whole life to get to this point to get drafted and all that. And everything I've endured, the injuries and all that. I'm like, 12 seconds. You know what I'm saying? Like 12 seconds. That's all it was.
I know. Yeah.
But no, it was amazing though, man. Like it was fun. Obviously I didn't get picked where I wanted to, but to be there with all my friends and experience that, it was definitely something I'll definitely remember forever, of course. But no, it was cool though, man. It was cool. A lot of my friends got drafted that year also, so it's cool to be able to go there. We all get drafted. Like everybody in my pre-draft group from Vegas, we trained out in Las Vegas with Impact, and everyone that I trained with got drafted that night. So it was cool to see that.
That's cool.
And have that experience with those guys. Yeah.
Were you able to build a bond with them too, kind of during that pre-draft workout section?
Oh, of course, man. Of course. Like we're all going through the same stuff, man. Like agent phone calls, team workouts, combine invites. We're all experiencing the same thing, man. So it was definitely cool to be able to grow with those guys and work out with those guys and continue to build those relationships, throughout the playing career. So yeah, it was cool.
Definitely. So you're able to. So you got drafted by the Spurs, but you ended up making your NBA debut with the Cavs. And
right.
Everyone wants to talk. The one game I want to focus on is your actual first game. I know you only played like 3 minutes, but you get to Warriors December 5th. Yep. What was that moment where you're like, holy crap, I'm in the NBA right now? Yeah, obviously.
I arrived to the arena. So the way it works in the NBA, the young guys have to work out. So if the game's at 7:00, the young guys have to work out at like 4:15, super early. You work out on the court for like 30 minutes, and then you're done for like 3 hours until the game starts. Crazy concept, I know. But as a young guy, it's kind of like you gotta earn that, So I get there like maybe 3:50. And the Warriors are all there. Like they're all setting up. Like their trainers and stuff are setting up. So I'm walking down the tunnel, and you have to walk by the visitor team locker room to get to your locker room. And I see Steph Curry, and I'm like, wow, like what am I doing here? You know what I'm saying? Like what? Like this is crazy. And I like when they were the 73-9 Warriors, like when they were going champions and all that, like I was like a big fan, like watching them all the time, just to be able to play against them my first game. Like it was just crazy to see Kevin Durant and see Klay Thompson and see Draymond Green and Steph Curry. And Steph had like 40 something that game. So it was just crazy to experience that. But no, it was definitely a blessing, man. It was eye-opening, but I really, really appreciate, everything that happened that year.
Yeah, definitely. Well, that's crazy to hear. And I guess going off of that, you're able to you played some talented guys. You had to guard players. You had to go against Giannis, and maybe when it wasn't necessarily in his prime years, but still as Giannis, and you had to go against Kawhi.
Pretty good still.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. The dude's still a monster. But going against all these guys, how crazy was it to be able to realize that you're kind of living out everyone's childhood dream, and you're living out your dream, and just be out there going against the best of the best?
I remember, it was maybe my 5th game. We played at Milwaukee, and I had a double-double that game. Played well, shot it well, and that was kind of the game for me to kind of like slow things down a little bit. I remember making a 3 in the first half and like running back on defense. Like, wow, like okay, like this is like it's just basketball at the end of the day. Like I've been doing this my whole life. Like there's no point to be nervous, man. It's just that everybody's super freaking good. So it's like, okay, I do belong out here. Like I am one of these guys. I can't produce at this level. But no, it was cool, man. Like I've had to guard guys like Giannis, Kawhi, Brad Beal, tons of guys, man. Like I was guarding shooting guards, small forwards, power forwards, guarding guys like Ben Simmons, Wilson Chandler. So it was definitely eye-opening to see how big and physical and fast these guys are. It's just crazy that they can do the certain things they can do, and it's like naturally gifted. Like
I know.
Giannis is a freak, man. Like to be able to, I remember I had to guard him for like a possession right before the half, man. And he had me on an island. I was like so nervous. Like I was like if he goes one way and spins the other way, he's gonna dunk. So it's like it makes you look crazy, but it's just that he's just that good. Like you can play the best defense on some of these players and they still score and make it look super easy. And that's enough, though. That's enough. Just give them a tough shot to make, and if they make it, oh well. If not, then good defense.
Yeah, definitely. Actually, going off of that, a question I was hoping to ask is just the level of difficulty, because you obviously played in the G League, NBA, overseas, and college. So if you had to kind of rank the difficulty of just these guys having to defend them, like how would you rank those 4 in order?
I mean, obviously the NBA is standard. I mean, the best players in the world.
Yeah.
That would be number 1. But I will say this, man. Like European basketball, like it's really, really, really hard to adjust having not played it ever in my life. Like it took me probably a good 2 to 3 months to like really adjust to the physicality, the rules, just the pace of play. Like everything's completely different over there. So it took me a while to get adjusted. Obviously fortunately I had a really, really good season last season, but it wasn't always like that. In the beginning there were games where I'm having like 9 points and 10 points. I'm like, man, like, what is it? Like, why can't I figure this out? The court's not smaller, but the lines are small. It's like it's more of a college vibe with players that are very, very talented. So definitely an adjustment, but I adapted to that and had a good season. But I think I would say that European basketball at not any level, but like some of the better leagues, obviously right under the NBA, above the G League, obviously, and NBA, European basketball, and then G League. G League is actually it's like really, really easy, man. Like it's all scoring. It's all scoring. It's fast paced, all scoring.
It's not easy to score though. I mean, come on. Like I said, it can't be that easy to score out there.
In the G League?
Yeah.
No, it is. It is.
All right. So I'm a 5-10 point guard. How many points am I getting out there? How many points?
I haven't seen you play, man. I haven't seen you play.
I'm not bad. Like I played high school ball. Like I'm all right.
Send me a clip of you working out, man. I'll tell you.
All right, I'll send you my huddle, bro. You can rate my huddle. Maybe you can tell Coach Burnell to get me on the team or something, man. I need a spot.
I'll put a good word in for you, man.
Come on, man. You have to. So I don't want to keep you for too long. I don't know what you else got going on, so I'll kind of finish up this interview with a couple more questions that I got, and then call it a quits. But looking at the NBA, with the Cavs, it looked like you had a pretty good bond with Colin Sexton. But how was he like, and is a team like for you? And then I also heard, I don't know if this is true or not, but you and Channing Frye got along pretty well. So what were the guys like over there?
So Colin, actually, I went to the LeBron James Skills Academy after my junior season of college, and I was preparing for that camp in Atlanta, training for like weeks before, and I met Colin there. We actually shared the same trainer, Nick Stapleton, in Atlanta, and we were working out together. Met Colin there, went to the camp together. Didn't really talk much. It's actually pretty funny because I met Jordan Clarkson there, who was also one of my teammates in Cleveland. And I showed him the photo of us in the camp. Once I got to the team, it was pretty cool. But no, Colin, he's just a different dude, man. He's wired differently mentally, and like, that's why he's so good. It's like he prioritizes basketball, he prioritizes his body, and he believes in himself. Like no matter what the media says about him, no matter what his family says, his friends says, his coaches, like he knows who he is as a player. He knows he's a good player, and that's what works. Me and him got super, super close because like he was the only rookie, like drafted rookie, and I was like the only other. Well, we had another two-way guy who was an NBA rookie also, but me and Colin were just very similar, man. Like some of the guys were into like going out all the time and all that. And Colin, if you know Colin, he's a very, very reserved and laid back guy. He's not really into that stuff. And
yeah, I know him personally. Him and I are best friends.
Every time I remember specifically, we were in LA, and me and him just like, I think we went to dinner and like sat outside the hotel for like 3 or 4 hours with our team security guy and just talked for like 4 hours. And that was a fun night for us, man. Like we got back to the hotel at like maybe like 1 something, and we were just talking for the last 3 or 4 hours. So we were very, very similar in that regard, man. He's a good dude, really, really good dude.
Definitely. And, unfortunately, I guess you guys don't agree on the varsity being the best restaurant in Atlanta or something. Is that true?
Not the best restaurant. It was, Atlanta's like a big culture spot. I think if you want to experience Atlanta and like the culture there, I think that's the place you got to see as an outsider. Not the best food. The food's obviously trash. Like you can't eat the food, but you got to go there to experience it.
Well, so where's the best place to eat? All right. What's the best place to go to a restaurant in Atlanta then? If it's
I don't know. I like all like the nice restaurants. It's like I can't speak on like an Atlanta restaurant outside of the varsity. Let me think.
Waffle House, right? Isn't that like a classic thing?
There's one in Clemson also. Waffle House is amazing.
Oh no, but I always be going to Waffle House. It's nice. It's good at night. That's the best time.
2 in the morning.
Yeah. So, looking overseas though, what was just that experience like? Because I know you said it was hard to adjust, but I swear, I could be wrong about this, but obviously you're going to Germany. You haven't played there yet, but in the Israeli basketball league, you have. What was like the language barrier like for you? Was it hard to kind of pick up on languages?
What most people don't understand is Israel is a lot like America. Tel Aviv is Miami without the flashiness, without the Lambos, without the Bentleys. It's the same thing, literally. Beach clubs, nightclubs, nice restaurants, tons of people. Like people are so nice, and people don't really realize what every Israeli citizen over there, from the ages of boy and girl, from the ages of I think 18 through 20 or 21, they have to do years of military. And in military, they learn English. So everyone speaks English over there.
Okay.
Everyone speaks English. So the language barrier wasn't bad for me. I remember my first week over there. It was just hard for me because, obviously I lived in America my whole life, and we are spoiled and don't understand how good we have it here and how convenient we have it. I can call the Uber right now and it's downstairs in 2 minutes. Yeah. I can order food and it's here in 25 minutes. I can go to a drive-through and get food. And, over there, like they don't have any of that stuff. There's no drive-throughs, no Uber Eats, like none of that stuff. So if you want food, you have to go out, you got to walk down the street, or you drive and park your car, walk somewhere and pick up food. So it was definitely an adjustment on that end. And obviously I'm single, I don't have no kids or a wife or anything. So I went by myself and it was hard, man. Like I remember going out to eat, like one of my first few days there, and, the menu was in Hebrew and I was like, what is going on? But I just ordered based off of the pictures. Like I didn't know anyone there other than my teammates and the coaches, and I'm not gonna hang out with them on day one. So did a lot of exploring on my own, but obviously throughout time, I built some good relationships over there, and I love it over there. It's amazing. The weather is always nice. I lived on the beach. It's pretty similar to America, man. People are great.
Yeah, definitely. Well, that's cool to hear, though. I know it's kind of a change of scenery, like you said, change of pace, but it's still pretty cool to kind of be able to enjoy that side of the world and see what it's like for yourself. But looking over to Germany, I don't know if they also know English there or not, or the whole extent to it. But how do you think that adjustment? How do you think the season will be for you, and how do you think the adjustment from going from Israel to now Germany is going to be like?
So this German team, they're a Euro Cup team, one of the best leagues in Europe. So they play international competition. So we'll play a schedule within Germany. I'm not sure if you know much about European basketball and like the levels and all that, but
I know the La Liga one, or just like Real Madrid, where Luka played for. That's about the only one I know.
Okay, so that's Euro League. So
really?
When I played in Israel last season, the Euro League team in Israel was Maccabi Tel Aviv.
Uh-huh.
So they have like a lot of former NBA guys in their team: Tyler Dorsey, Elijah Bryant, who just signed with the Bucks. Ante Zizic, my teammate in Cleveland, played for them this past season.
Oh, really?
Yeah, cool. Yeah. So that's like EuroLeague is like the NBA of Europe. Euro Cup is like right under EuroLeague. So teams you play. So for example, in Germany, we'll play in our German league. So we'll play all the teams in Germany. So Alba Berlin, Munich, all the EuroLeague teams, all the Euro Cup teams, all the Champions League teams in Germany. And we'll also play a Euro Cup schedule, which means we play teams that are in Euro Cup, but outside of Germany. So we'll go to France, we'll go to Montenegro, we'll go to Spain, Grand Canary Islands, we go to Greece, we go to Slovenia and Turkey. So we'll play Euro Cup teams from Turkey in regular season play. And then obviously it's two separate seasons in one season, if that makes sense. Yeah, you have Euro Cup and then you have German League. So that's the best way to explain it.
That's cool. I mean,
I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm looking for my team colors are orange, so I mean I'm used to wearing orange, so I'm excited about that.
You're back at home with it right there. That's pretty neat though. That's cool to kind of hear about that type of stuff. But is this question is kind of about the trash talk though. Do you think it's a lot like, do you think the trash talk in Europe is better, worse, whatever, the same as it is in the NBA or college, or is there even any trash talk going on in any league?
In the NBA, when I experienced no trash talk at all. I mean, guys are so good; they don't care about stuff like that, man. It's just, and plus, obviously, but we weren't the best teams. Like it wasn't like we were in super competitive or highly competitive games. But I'm sure like the playoff atmosphere is different. But even in Europe and overseas, no. But one thing that was like crazy to me was just like there are no rules for the fans. Like they can say whatever they want to you and do whatever they want. Middle finger this and F this, and that's just normal, man. They can say whatever they can throw stuff at you, and it's cool.
Yeah,
it's crazy, but that's just the culture over there.
Yeah, I mean, do you enjoy it though? Do you like I mean, obviously you don't get nailed with like a water ball or something weird, but like, do you kind of enjoy kind of just how rowdy it is out there? Like, do you think it's a change of pace? I'm sure it's a big change of pace, but do you think it's kind of like a nice
big change of pace? But I enjoy playing in front of like I would say this: the fans in Europe are better basketball fans or even sports fans in general. Like they'll come to the games all painted up consistently, go crazy. Like I played in some really, really good environments, and that's honestly one thing I'm really looking forward to going to Germany. There's so many good teams in the league, and hopefully we're able to have fans back in the stands because COVID and all that. Like we didn't have fans in the stands in Israel until like last month or month and a half of the season. So hopefully Germany has gotten COVID under control and they can get some fans in the stands. Apparently we have a really nice home arena and fans love basketball there, according to the fans who've reached out to me so far on social media. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, definitely. So, my last question before I let you go is just, you've been able to travel the world, see a bunch of arenas, whether it's in the NBA, college, whatever the case may be. What's like the coolest arena or place you've kind of just played in?
Man, wow. I'll do this. I'll pick from every league I've played in. My favorite two arenas in the NBA. One is going to be Milwaukee. Okay. Brand new, amazing arena, brand new. And then we played in Staples Center. I grew up the biggest Kobe fan, so like being able to play there was like surreal for me. It's better in person, man. It's just crazy to experience that.
Were you ever able to play at MSG?
No.
Oh, okay.
Well, in the NIT Final Four, but like not as a big player. Full
effect, yeah.
So Staples Center and then Milwaukee's arena, and then in the G League, I guess the best arena I played in. Well, nicest arena or like best environment.
I mean, I was going. I'll let you to figure that out. I mean, I guess both, kind of the mixture of where it's like it's nice, but like the fans are crazy. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
So my first year in the G League, we won the championship with Austin, and our home fans were like amazing. Like they loved us, man. It was a great season. Probably my second favorite season of my professional career.
Really?
Yeah.
What's your first?
NBA, obviously.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
Of course, but I had the most fun. I'll tell people this all the time. Like I had the most fun with my teammates that year.
Uh-huh.
But our home arena was very, very nice, and one I enjoyed playing at probably Toronto 905. And we played them in the finals, and I've always had good games there. And the G League showcase was obviously there also, so I was very comfortable playing there. Overseas in Israel, my favorite place to play. We only play these teams like once at their place. The nicest gym with the best environment, obviously Maccabi Tel Aviv, the EuroLeague team.
Yeah.
Jerusalem has a good arena. They're a Champions League team. Cologne also has a good arena with good fans. They're a Champions League team also. But I hear in Germany, like Munich has like really, really good fans and a nice arena. Like the 2 EuroLeague teams there. Obviously we do. So I'm just looking forward to it, man. I played in a lot of gyms. I mean, at the college level, it's hard not to pick against Little John Coliseum to be one of them.
Hey, come back, bro. Come back. We can go out. Me, you, and Josh can all go out. We can just talk basketball in Little John Coliseum.
Is 356 still a thing?
Yeah, it is. It is. It's weird though. They only get busy on like they have like these one nights where they, I guess they have like, I don't know, like the dance floor is popping or something. So it's like a hit or miss place. It's like a once a week place where it's fun or not.
Dude, when I tell you in college, we used to go to that place all the time. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, all the time.
Dude, it has to be the place for basketball players because when I was going last, freshman year, I always saw like Amir Sims there, Alamir Dawes, like all the guys on the team were there. Like it was like the spot for them. So
356 was the spot, man. I'm telling you. And like when I was there, was it TDs? TDs still thing?
TDs are still there.
Okay. And Triple T's?
Yeah. There you go.
Triple T's still there?
Yeah.
But when I was there, it's not there anymore. But Winging It?
No, I've never heard of that. No.
Never heard of Winging It?
No, it's not there.
Winging It is right across from 356.
Right across. I think there's a Charleston Sports Pub now, CSP. It's like a chain restaurant.
That's what it is now. Yeah.
It's kind of lame, bro. No one goes there.
Winging It was fun, man. Study hall is cool. I'm sure they're still there, right?
Yeah, it is. It is. I haven't had a chance to go, but
Yeah, study hall is cool.
It's there.
Clemson's so different now, man, from when I was there.
What do you mean? What's the difference from it?
It's just a different campus, man. Like I go there and I see buildings now. There were trees when I was there. Like so much has changed, man. Like it just looks different. Like I remember my first day on campus and like compare it to now, it's like this is like a different campus.
You brought that. You helped bring that change, though. I mean, you did kind of help bring that change. I know obviously football helps, but basketball's right there with it now too. So
basketball's done a good job since I left.
I'm expecting to build you a statue. They should build.
I gotta retire my jersey number first.
They'll do both at the same time. All ceremony, you'll come out. You'll be the guy. Everyone's like, "Let's go, awesome game, yes sir." So
maybe this interview will inspire that to get the thing.
Hey, bro. Hey, you never know. I'll make sure to send it out to everyone I know right now. I'll tell them all about it. I'll go tell when I talk to Josh today when I see him. I'll tell him, hey, go tell Brunel about my boy Blossomgame over here. Tell him to get a statue.
Yeah, do that for me.
I got you. Wait, when it happens, so I expect at least a thank you, or maybe we can get dinner. I don't know. I just expect something.
When the statue goes up, dinner on me. I got you.
All right. Hey, it's gonna happen.
Have you been to? Wait, is this place still? Is Rick Irwin still there?
Rick Irwin's, bro, yes, it is, and I used to work there. So, I mean, not the one in Clemson, but there's one in Greenville that I used to work at, and obviously Rick Irwin's is, like, phenomenal. I love Rick Irwin.
What about Blue Heron?
Blue Heron? Yeah, I've been there, too. That's nice, too. That's
Okay, cool. Yeah, I got to get back, man. I leave for Germany in 10 days. I'm driving to Atlanta this weekend. I may come up for, like, a day or so, man. I got to see my people there before I leave.
You have to. I mean, I know you're probably not going to see me, but I'm around. I'm here. I'm chilling. I'm still around. So in case your plans fall through, just let me know. We can
pull up the campus, man. I'll let you know if I'm coming down.
Hey, we can go 356 your old stopping grounds around there.
Like old times, man.
Oh, come on, there you go. Well, again, I really appreciate you coming on. I could talk to you probably for another couple hours about, if I could. It's great talking to you. I would love to maybe speak to you again when you're in Germany and getting things started off. Maybe you're going to a soccer game. You can tell me about the atmosphere there. But I appreciate it, man. I wish the best of luck. And, like you said, with guys, they take a big journey and they only see when they're at the highest points. So I wish you the best of luck, and you'll be PJ Tucker, but better than PJ. You can actually be able to score. All right. So
For sure, man.
I wish you the best of luck, and I appreciate this.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks for having me on too, man.
Yeah,
I'm sure we'll reconnect somewhere in the future, man. But if I come down to Clemson this weekend, I'll definitely let you know, man.
Oh, that'd be sweet, man. I appreciate it.
All right, sounds